Welcome to the awesome. I'm Big Roy, and this is the Strikeforce Massive Launch Podcast. Here's my co-host, Chewburger84.
Thank you very much, Roy. Welcome back for another week. How's it going over there?
Thank you, sir. Pretty awesome, except for the whole it's snowing on April 15th and cold, so that's pretty dumb. But other than that, pretty good. We're still locked down, so that sucks. But hopefully it'll start going down and be over soonish.
Man, who knows what that's going to bring, hey? I have no idea when I'm going to be able to get out of the house. I had my first adventure out yesterday. I actually volunteered to do the grocery shop for us after work yesterday because it was the first time I could get out of the house in 5 weeks. And, mate, It was just getting the sun on my face for about 8 seconds. Well, I say on my face. I mean on the parts of my cheek that my glasses, cap, and face mask weren't touching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it was nice to get out. Yeah. And it's bad that walking, 200 meters into the shopping center to get to the supermarket and walking around, you're just like, whew, I haven't used the legs for a while. Jesus.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I can't believe I haven't exercised in a long time, but I don't think I've wanted to exercise more than I do right now. Every time I walk downstairs, that bike that I bought just haunts me now, man. It's so delivered the day before lockdown. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. What are you going to do? Ready for a big week, my man? There's so much to cover today.
Yes, sir.
All right. So as my man Roy said at the top of the show, this is indeed the Strikeforce Masters Launch Podcast, available every single week. I do apologize that the times have been erratic for the last 2 weeks. That's completely on me. My work and life structure is a complete nightmare right now, and finding time for the show has proven pretty difficult, but we're making sure we get you something every week, no matter what, as early in the week as we can. Now, we try and take your questions from Discord at the end of every show, so make sure you head on over to Strikeforce Masters and Launch on Discord, sign up there into the on-air questions with your questions, and we will read them out at the end of every episode. Now, Roy and I are lucky enough that no matter what's going on in the world, we can put aside some time to do this podcast because we have an awesome community, which is you guys, that really help us come back every single week and justify this time doing a show that we both love. And you can sign up to help us keep doing what we're doing and make sure that we do have justified time every week at patreon.com. So patreon.com/SFMOL. Now, we mentioned the last couple of weeks that, with coronavirus, we kind of expected that we'd do it a little bit tough on here, and we'd certainly lost, quite a few people, understandably, because people are going through tough times, Roy. But holy heck, have we had some people show us some love over the last week. So we actually have a bunch of new patrons, and I cannot say thank you enough, not only to our normal patrons who we're going to thank with their names in a moment, but especially to these new people, because, you've certainly helped us bounce back a lot this last week. So thank you so much to all of you. So to our new master tier patrons, Shalasta and Commander Iceman, thank you. To our new journeyman, Cheetah, Hamdesis, Hobbs, and I swear I'm missing someone there. I know I've got it written further down the shout outs anyway, but to all of our new patrons, thank you so much. Make sure you hang around for the voice chat, which I know you guys will be in after this. We always do have a weekly catch up with our patrons because we love talking to those guys as well. So here comes the big monthly shout out, Roy. We waited until you were back to do it. So to our supporter tiers, Adam Raro, Commander Corsi, Dylan, Chief, Hulk Smash, Kevin, Lunchbox, Squirrel Girl, Fairbear, Skysong, and Matches Malone, thank you to all of you. To our apprentices, Alan G, Franchise, Danelle, Darth, Swain Hammer, Jason V, Creative Name, Blue Luna, Lee Lee, Marnus88, Grimnos, Run and Gun, Zatio Tech, Frozen, Bearded Viking, Marco Immort, Bloodwalker, Jeff, BG2, JJ Ortiz, and Larry. Thank you to all of you. Our journeymen, the rock stars, thank you very much to Andrew M, the X23, Beer God, Mookie, Dawkins, Justin Beard, Mikey H, Neil Wiley-Bird, Paul Puck, Irish Avenger, Scooter, Yule, Chilbo, Kravina, Ticken Arthur, Dun and Dun, Real East, Lemon Russ, Big Spartan, Bo Slayer, Legriv, and then of course our new boys Cheetah, Hobbs, and Hamdesis. And then the masters, the gods amongst men, the guys that have supported us for such a long time, Roy, and honestly, we couldn't do this show without them. We owe them so much. Sendella, Maseo, Bart, Liquid Cool, Dragus, Assassin Avenue, Judas, Lord Keen, Moon, Folpsy Schmolpsy, Kane, Spark Zulu, Jackie246, J Shriver138, Benicus, Tuggernuts, my favorite name of the week outside of Chilbo, Commander Iceman, and Shalasta. Honestly, boys, we were blown away with the level of support you guys have been sticking with us, and I really hope that you're all safe and well at this time. But Roy, it would not be an MSF podcast if you didn't have a free-to-play way to absolutely help the show.
Yes, absolutely. And I also want to thank all the patrons for helping us out. We greatly appreciate it. Very awesome of you. But yes, you can help support the show absolutely free by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We got 5 new ones. There were a few last week. I wasn't here, so we couldn't read them. So we're going to make sure we get those in. First one from SX Boy 1982. Awesome podcast. An awesome podcast for MSF players. 2 really knowledgeable guys, and the banter between them makes it even better. Next up from InPim from Portugal. Can you play without listen? Only bad feeling when it ends. Takes a full week to have another. My favorite part? I'm hesitating between Chew rants and theory crafting and Big Roy arena knowledge. Can you play without listen? You can, but it won't be as much fun. Keep it up, guys. Stay safe. Stay home. Very awesome. Next one. Let's see where we are. Okay. From Odd Good 9, 1 year in game. Celebrating my 1-year anniversary in game, and these guys have gone a long way to keep me engaged and invested. Providing intelligent and honest commentary on the state of the game while giving great team building tips for noobs and krakens alike. Big Roy is a beacon of hope for all free-to-play players, while Chew supplies the listener with in-game theory crafting expertise. And finally, from Richard Cranium 91, essential MSF listening. If you play MSF, this should be an essential part of your experience. I've left the game in the past and can say that Big Roy and Chew are one of the main reasons I came back and stuck around. Each week they provide great information and entertainment, coming from both the free-to-play and spender angles on the game allow them to provide a holistic take on the game. Keep it up, boys. Thank you very much for those 5-star reviews, guys. That's going to do it for this week.
Absolutely. I can't say how much it thrills me that we had 2 reviews there. One from Portugal, because the fact that we have people in other countries listen to this blows my mind every time that we're reminded of that fact. Like when we look at the Podbean numbers and we see where people tune in, and there's countries like, how did you find this little podcast? Do you know what I mean? It's really cool. I really like it. Like people's love of Marvel takes them so far across the planet. But number 2, I feel like if there was a movie poster for this particular podcast, you know how they have like quotes from like Rolling Stone magazine says greatest podcast of the year. Yeah. I just love that ours would basically be, great podcast signed Richard Cranium. That pretty much, there's nothing more perfect for that than us. 100%.
Yeah.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it a lot. That's awesome, man. God, I love our community so much. We're just so lucky, man.
Yes, we're a worldwide phenomenon all across the globe. I can't talk.
Did you just hit puberty halfway through that sentence? I can't see your voice going any deeper.
I've got these weird new headphones. They're like noise canceling, so they're like messing up. So I think I should have to do one in. It's like messing up, like how I sound to myself. So I don't know.
Oh,
weird
I see how it is.
going on, man.
Turn your own voice up and just turn mine down. I see how it is.
Okay, now one fell out, so
typical
I'm experiencing technical difficulties.
Classic. Got to call in IT, for which we don't have.
Yes.
All right, so let's go into what I'm sure is going to be a very brief segment at the moment, and that is Red Star Watch. So obviously Red Stars are a big part of Marvel Strike Force, but it doesn't involve a very serious gambling component, folks. So if you are someone who is prone to gambling addiction or you are under the age of 18, maybe skip forward about 2 minutes ahead in the podcast. Roy, I'm assuming, like myself, you've been holding on to them Reds for either Black Order or, more importantly, just the rework, right?
Why would I do that? I opened all mine. No.
You're stupid. No, I know you didn't. Yeah.
No, I did before that was announced, though, so I only have 14 regulars and 1 Elite 5. So not tons.
I'm trying to remember, who did you open all those on? It wasn't Proxima. There was someone else you were chasing, right?
What I opened what?
When you opened your last Reds, there was someone you were chasing. I can't remember why you opened all your Reds. There was something you were trying to get.
It was for Proxima.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, for Black Order. I only got 3. I opened tons. I got her a ton in there, like almost probably 30% of the time, but nothing above a 3, so that sucked.
Well, tomorrow, my man, that 3's better than what it is now.
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah, so that's going to be the main topic of the show today, guys, is obviously the Red Star rework. It's going to be live by the time you guys are hearing this podcast. So no doubt you guys are going to be trying to log into the game while you're listening to this. And I have no doubt in my mind with them trying to switch on Red Stars, a new character, and all the Spider-Man milestones, that the game is going to implode and probably rip a black hole in the middle of the Marvel universe. So,
pretty much it.
Yeah, I haven't opened anything either. I don't know how I've accumulated so many, though. Oh, I know why. Because I only opened 1 for Proxima, and I got 4 and got lucky. That's why.
Nice.
So I'm sitting on 42.
Jeez.
I know, right? Speaking of, man, we should do, because I am not a believer of seed theory, as you know, and you are the main man of seed theory. Maybe because I have 42 red star orbs and 49 gold saved up, ready for the next characters coming shortly. Maybe we should test it with what I've got.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, and if I don't get a red, I'm coming for you. If I don't get
Well,
a 7,
see, yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Is like, if you don't get a 7, you think it doesn't work, but that's not how it works.
oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
That's best case, but
Boo.
you know,
Boo hiss.
yeah,
No. Game's racist against Australians. We've confirmed this before.
yes, because Australian is a race.
It is. Absolutely it is.
It's like
How
our
dare
own
you.
race.
How dare you? All right. So, yeah, look, there's going to be a lot of, I'm sure, Red Star updates next week because with the rework, we're going to be opening some orbs, I dare say, especially because by the time you hear our voices next, Corvus Glaive will be in the game as well. So I'm definitely going to open a lot for him. Now, how many cores have you been saving? I'm assuming you've been waiting big to go in on something.
That is a perfect segue. I have been spending them like water. Actually, there's like a huge like pressure on my cores because I was spending a lot on DD3, but now that I'm in Cosmic, I'm only spending 50 to 100 a day total.
Okay.
Because I needed to cut down because I am doing all 50 refreshes for Proxima.
Yep.
I need to get her as high as possible for Black Order. But I'm also refreshing Hela's node each day. And when I get Sif in the raid store, or not raid store, I wish, war store, I'm refreshing twice then. I've actually 2 times now, I've got the triple Sif, where she's there, I buy her, refresh, she's there, buy her, refresh, she's there, buy her. And I am actually, believe it or not, on track to get 6-star Black Bolt when it comes.
Wow. So does that mean that you're finally going to get on board and try and get this Black Order squad together?
Yes, that was my plan all along.
Where are your Inhumans sitting?
That is a ugly story.
Right.
So at most I'll only get it at 5. Because, if I could get them. Of course, Miss Marvel and Quake are maxed.
Yep.
But Yo-Yo is 42 out of 55, and she's most likely being premium orb only, which is such great news. Crystal is at 3 out of 130, but Karnak is only 22 out of 55. So unless he goes like an Arena or Blitz store, probably only getting him at 5. And then Crystal would have to be pretty farmable too if I were trying to get that at 6.
Well, that's pretty much the key here as to whether or not people get even a 5 unlock versus a 6 is how farmable is Yo-Yo, Karnak, and Crystal. And I mean, you breezed over the the first Newsweek item that we needed to cover. We're going to spend some time on that. If Yo-Yo goes directly to orbs only, man, a lot of the goodwill they've been building up over the last couple of weeks with me, just immediately that slaps in the face. Because it's so hard to get to this legendary event already, even for people who were nearly prepared anyway. To do that, I think, is a massive slap in the penis.
And it wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Look, I'll tell you what though, they better not turn around when they do like a character cadence review later in the year and just sort of go, what are you talking about? We didn't release the characters like we said we would. We put Yo-Yo in premium orbs. That counts as one farmable character. If they turn around and do that, man,
right.
Oh, my wrath will be swift but large.
Well, we always said that, we might not even hit that goal of 1 a month or whatever. So,
yeah, I know.
So
It's
what are you
that
complaining
whole
about?
sentence was one of my favorite PR things of 2020. It's just like, yeah, we're going to do this and all this and then this, but yeah, we may not. Yeah, man. That sounds like many coronavirus conferences I've listened to this week.
Nice.
Yeah, everything's going to reopen, but it also might not until next year. So stay well, guys.
Yeah, so either next week or in 2022. So, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So look, yeah, I think you're right. If Yo-Yo does go there, I think that's a shame because she's a character I think we all want to build. And she wasn't easily to farm last time. She wasn't a campaign, right? I think. Was it Yo-Yo?
She was only Blitz, yeah.
Was that Karnak, was it?
He was Blitz also.
I thought one
Crystal
of them had...
Crystal was the
Oh, was it
content.
Crystal, was it? Right,
Yeah.
okay. So look, yeah, that's a shame because she's definitely a wonderful character and one that a lot of us seem to have decent stars on. So I'm a shoe-in for 5, but I would have loved to have seen a 6 first time round for more. But given the sound of his kit, which we're definitely going to talk about today, what the little snippets that we have heard, he sounds broken regardless of how many yellows you have on him.
Yeah, because from what it sounds like, he's not super high damage, but the other stuff does is very good and will help your other high damage guys. So you might not need him at high stars.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a Shuri in that sense, but it's not going to matter as much because of the health aspect.
Yep.
How that drain functions, obviously, that's going to maybe depend on red stars, which we'll talk about when we get to that. So, yeah, that's the first probably piece of bad news for the week in a week that otherwise looks pretty good. So, the Red Star update's coming soon. Now, the Proxima event is live right now. So, you're pretty much doing, by the sounds of it, all of her hard nodes every day, I'm guessing. Like, you're maxing out all those if you're doing the 50 refreshes?
Yes.
Yep. And how is that working out for you? Whereabouts have you got her now?
I've only got her in the middle like once or twice, so not tons of good on her. But like just today, I opened 2. I got 8 Ghost Rider on one and 8 Sif on the other one. So I was like, I will take that. I am fine with those drops, but she's currently at 33 of 55.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's probably the good thing about these campaign orbs versus a lot of the ones that we've seen recently for, these multi-character drop campaigns, is that there's a lot of characters that guys like you and I definitely need right now. Like Ghost Rider I want badly for DD3, when I get to, the city nodes somewhere in late 2022.
Yep.
And, obviously trying to get those Sif and Hela. Actually, no, Hela's not in there, is it? Just Sif, isn't it?
Yeah, just Sif.
Just Sif, yeah. So look, Sif, I'm looking pretty good with the blitz that's on at the moment, just even if I get very, very basic rewards. So I can stop buying her from the war store, which feels real good. I'm actually debating what I'm going to do with that war currency now, though. Whether I keep doing that or, either I go back to DD3 or whether I actually may go and finish Graviton first.
Oh.
Just because I've got some ideas for that, man. Now that we're able to...
do you know?
I do. And because I'm doing a very different approach to DD3, as you and I have talked about off air. So I won't necessarily need as many mats. So, yeah, we'll see. We will see. You've played with her now, Proxima? Or how did you find the event? Like, because obviously you get to play with her a little bit in there.
The event pretty much breezed through. She seems pretty good, but just, of course, squish if you don't have her high starred.
Yep.
I've only played with her in Blitz a little bit, and not even that much. I'm still bringing her up. So, jury's still on her for me, but I'm sure she'll be amazing once I have the full Black Order team.
Oh, for sure. When they've got that, man, I think one thing she desperately needs is that health from... the other characters, because she, even at higher stars, man, she's squish. So I've got 4 red, 5 yellow. She's T12, level 75, everything maxed T4 wise. Like she's as kitted out as I can make her right now. Except for obviously T13, T14, which I'm thinking about doing. She's still real squish. Like I took her in war a couple times, and in like an opening round as Guardians, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think she's definitely the weaker member, but that's not going to be as much of a curse as what we thought last week because the information we now have about Thanos, which is crazy. So we'll talk about that in a little while. Now, we've got a little bit more of an idea about the Flash event cadence going forward. This is something I'm really excited about, Roy, is that now we know when the events are actually going to be in for our gold, our red stars, our T4s, and our orange mats. So the Red Star Flash events featuring the Wakandans will be on the first Saturday of the month, and you will only need for the first 4 nodes, which is basically the first month, because we can't go any higher than that, unfortunately. You're only going to need 4 Wakandans, which opens it up to a lot of new players because you don't have to have Shuri, which is actually quite cool.
Yes, that's very nice.
Relic Hunt will be on the second Saturday of every month. That's where we get our purple and orange catalysts. The payday event, which is where we get our gold, will be every month on the third week. The fact that we have monthly commitments now, that makes me feel pretty good, Roy. How about you?
Yes, very good. Instead of just wondering when it will come back.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I still think gold should be fortnightly at least, but I'll take that commitment so far and then rejudge the economy in a little while.
Yes.
The block party event, however, will only be every second month now, which for me feels like it's less frequently than it has been recently. Or is that just my brain playing tricks?
It might be. It seems like it came back every month and a half or so. So I don't know. I haven't been keeping track. So
Neither have I. I probably should have, but it feels like we've had a few, especially with the amount of orange mats I feel like I have recently. Well, not after the start of the Black Order, but before that, like the stockpile was looking good.
Yo. What they should do is, if they're not doing the block party that month, then just do another payday.
Oh, yeah. How good would that be? That's a great idea. Yeah. Can you write that in an email to Fox next, please? Because they definitely listen to us.
Yes, especially me.
I don't know, man. Who do you think is like higher on their like Richard Cranium list? Is it you or me?
I think I'm at the top.
You think you beat me after the
we might be tied, but for very different reasons.
We'll say.
I show that everything could be done in the game without spending, which they absolutely hate. They'd rather have the content creators that overspend and underachieve show what to do. So
man, if it's costing Fox next money, I reckon Tadano probably beats you there. He saved so many people EPing money by just crushing DD3 so quick. I can't even fathom how many cores that must have cost Fox next. Makes me feel pretty good.
Yep. But yeah, you're up there because of the constant calling them on their crap and like, what is this?
How dare
Why are you doing that?
How dare I hold them to account? I know, right?
Yes. How dare you?
Now, in awesome news, Roy, Symbiote Spider-Man, one of those characters that we don't really hear about as much as we should, probably because he was only in a milestone event farmable last time. After this one, he's going to be usable because as of the time this probably goes live to air, the Symbiote Spider-Man milestones will return. So where did you finish last time? I had a feeling you finished on like 5 stars or something crazy, didn't you?
I was 16 away from 5 stars.
Wow.
And at 4 and 4, he is very usable. I auto all my bio nodes with him. So he's amazing. So I'll definitely be hitting him at 6. Mm-hmm. But there's a very, very important question I still haven't gotten an answer to.
Okay.
Will he and the other milestone... Well, actually, I don't think he will for sure. He won't be in the Red Star promotion store.
I doubt it.
Once the update goes through. Mm-hmm. And will the other milestone ones, Coulson and Captain Marvel?
Well, if they're in there now... Actually, that's a good point, because I feel like I've seen Symbiote Spider-Man in there before, which means that they won't take anyone out that's already in there now. So, for example, I saw some screenshots where people had asked Fox Next employees, I can't really name who they spoke to, but there's confirmation that if they're in the store now, they're not going to disappear. Because what a lot of people were going to do in the Kraken Whale community, they were going to buy Proxima Midnight before she disappeared from the store, right? And then you get your refund of $150 because of the cost change tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But they basically said, look, there's no need to do that because anyone that's in there now is not going away from there. But we've seen things like new legendaries, for example. It won't be until their second or possibly even third rotation that you'll be able to deliberately upgrade them. That sucks. And any new farmable character, it's going to be quite a while. Until they're farmable, they won't be in there either. So there's a lot of things that aren't great there. But at the same time, with the nature of power creep, Roy, the more time I've had to digest this information, I think it's actually a good thing for us. The reason is, if it was so easy to farm a new character the day it came out, who's going to get the 7 red stars day one?
This is the Krakens.
Exactly, right? It's just going to feed them. They could basically save their currency for a month because they're not spending on anything else. They get everything maxed. Then their new character comes out and boom, they can just maximize it. We know that in reality they're doing this so that people have to spend that RNG gambling money on red orbs. They're trying to build the value of red orbs again. But
Exactly, and that's exactly what they're going to do, and that's what Foxnex wants them to do, is drop thousands on red star orbs to try to get the high red stars, because they know they won't be able to get them.
And they can go their hardest, man. But look, there's no guarantee that they can just take, a meta-defining character and guarantee that every Kraken day one has it. The more time I've had to digest this information, the more I'm actually happy that that's a thing, right? The day one. Maybe second drop or second release or, second rotation of Blitz or Legendary, whatever. Sure, put it in there. But right day one, you don't want those guys just getting yet another advantage over everyone else. And I say this as a pay-to-win player. I say this as a spender mate, right? I don't think that I should have that ability. The fact that Black Order sounds like it's going to be so OP, the last thing you want is just one guy getting 7 reds on everything, and then he just wins Arena for the next 4 months. Because that's going to happen with some lucky a-hole in everyone's Arena shard, no matter what we do. So, yeah, the interesting one for me is going to be Corvus. The fact that he launches the same day as everyone else, will he be featured in that store or not? I'm assuming he's probably the first victim of this new process.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. So,
well, here's the $1 million question.
Okay.
I will be getting my Symbiote Spider-Man to 6 stars 100%
Nice.
when they come back.
Yep.
He is in my Red Star promotion store right now. I can take him to 6 red stars.
Yeah.
Do I pull the trigger, or I was planning on doing Thor to 6 and then Black Bolt when I get him to 6.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
that will help me a lot more in DD3 to get through this horrific Mystic node and then other places, but...
How much currency are you sitting on right now of the promotion credits?
Well, I have 10 of the gold still, so I can do 2 to 6, and I have 162.
But you're going to get a refund on some of that gold stuff, aren't you? Because of the changes. Oh, I know you won't because you haven't used them yet. But
No,
is it only the other promotion credits? We'll have to wait till we get to that section. We'll be going through that in a sec.
Yeah. So, that'll help me get through the horrific Node 12.
Yep.
But then Symbiote Spider-Man, is he going to help me enough, I guess, is the question. Will he help me enough in other modes to make it worth it over Thor?
Well, I think Symbiote Spidey is such a significantly better character in any game mode that you put him in, including Arena if it came down to it. Not that you'd use him with your particular setup, than Thor in leaps and bounds. I mean, Symbiote Spider-Man is a top 5 character in this game. Thor, in specific teams, would be top 10 comfortably. In non-specific teams, I don't think he even scrapes in there, mate.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be on that Node 12 for at least a month, maybe more. Because I'm not, refreshing a lot, so or at all most of the time. So the 6 red star Thor would definitely help me a lot there. And then to help me, in, I guess, Alliance War and Blitz, but not really anywhere else.
But see, you're about to get a massive change there as well, in the sense that you're about to get Black Bolt unlocked as well. So, I mean, he's going to take you a long way in DD3. So, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, all 3 of those characters in DD3 are supposedly top tier. Black Bolt is essential, Symbiote Spidey is essential, and Thor is definitely top tier outside of that, 100%. But... yeah. I don't know, man. It's a lot of materials for one guy. I mean, War Defense, people are going to hate you, for sure. That's definitely Thor would be great.
Yeah.
But for me, man, I don't know. I think I'd do the Symbiote Spidey first. I mean, if he's in the store now, if you can upgrade him, we've been told through sort of various back channels that, anyone that's in that store right now will not be removed from that store. So if Symbiote Spidey's in there now, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it. I'll probably end up getting Spidey.
Yeah, I say go for it, man. I mean, he's a good character no matter what you do. It just depends on whether you want to save that for some of the Black Order if you get lucky to go with your thick nose, man.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So, that's going to be really good. So, rip all the gold that I have in my account right now. How much gold are you sitting on? Because I know you tend to go into these milestone events stacked in ways that I still don't understand.
I'm at 27 million. I'd have more, but
Jesus.
I've been spending $1 million a day just to bring stuff up because I need the piddly amount of power cores from doing the milestones for that up to $1 million.
Right.
And then I have 6 gold orbs.
And
So,
6
I
gold
could
orbs.
easily be at 35. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I wonder what I'll be after I open 49 gold orbs. I'm at just under 10 mil now. I reckon I'll be lucky if I crack 20.
Yeah, you'll probably be around there, 20, 22.
Yeah,
Like
just because the nature of the beast, the more you open, it tends to be that there's just something about, this game that just decides to punch you in the nuts. So,
yes.
Good times. Now, the Sif Blitz is currently underway, and the ridiculous scores continue, of course, because there are red stars on Sif up for grabs. So I know you said that you were going a little bit harder than normal. Is that because you wanted to get red stars on her, or is this purely to get as much farm as possible out of the way for the upcoming legendary events?
Oh, it's purely as much fun as possible for Black Bolt because she's at
Sure.
107 of 200. So I don't know if I can grind out to top 1%, but I mean, even if I just get like the 55 shards, that would definitely make it a lot easier. And then it will come down to Hela. She's at 123 of 200, so I should be okay on her though.
Yeah, because what do we got now?
refreshing
We've
her
got, for the Asgardian events, we've got about another, 2 weeks, right? Or just under. The 27th, was it?
Yeah, so like 12 days.
12 days.
And there'll be a double drop on her farming her node. We'll get 5 each of them. And then it runs for 3 days, so
Nice.
should be able to make it.
Yeah, so I'm at 287 of 300 for Sif. So just with the Blitz payout from my milestones and chill, I'll be pretty much covered there. And then Hela is, 277 of 300. So we've nearly hit it. I'm excited though, because I mean this means nothing to you because you've got your 7 reds and have had for a while. But it means that basically at the end of April, between getting Black Bolt at 7 yellow and Hela at 7 yellow, I will finally have 2 characters cracking the 100k mark. I can't believe it's only taken 1,000 days or however long I've been playing this game now.
Welcome to the 100K club.
So stupid. All right, now one Blitz coming up, and I think I may have to spend some time on it. And I say that because, I'll get there the day of and work will go crazy and then this will all disappear into the ether. But
Yep.
Ghost Rider is actually going to be the Blitz after Sif. Now, I want to get him up to 5 or 6 soon. I think you've got him much higher because I think you were doing quite well during his event, right?
Not much higher. He's at, so I could take him to 4 and it'd be 19 of 130.
Okay.
So not too much higher.
Yeah, I got lucky on him with Mega and Premium Orbs and even Ultimus. I seem to be pulling Ghost Rider in ways that I've just never seen in new characters before. So I went from having him not even unlocked a couple of weeks ago to right now he's at 69 of 130.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's with 0 farm. That's just from opening orbs, trying to get those Sif and Hela procs, which now that we know about Yo-Yo, I regret so much.
You're like, oh!
I think we all knew that was going to happen, though. Like, whenever you do that with a new character, they always go, oh, there's a new character in orbs that you need. So,
Yep. A lot of people are speculating they're going to take Thanos out of there, put him somewhere, and then make her the new premium only.
yeah, I just wish they'd stop doing that. I really do. But isn't Minerva still one of the only premium onlys as well?
Yeah, because it was Black Widow, Minerva, and Thanos, and they took Black Widow out.
Yeah, right.
So
Classic.
So that if they add another one in, then yeah.
Rare. And then, Corvus Glaive coming next week. I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping his packs drop in the next few days so that I can start playing around with that synergy between him and Proxima, and we can tell the folks how good they are or how good they aren't, depending. I'm guessing it's going to be how good they are, though.
Yeah, he's going to be nasty. I certainly hope I pull high red stars on him.
Rare. Now, this is one of the ones that I'm surprised news hasn't circulated as much as we thought. But, Roy, here's the big question. Is the Shell game coming to an end for Alliance War?
I hope so, but probably not.
So, did you see the proposed changes they want to put out there for the War Leagues?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so we've obviously got, for the War League changes for this coming season, they've moved the orange ability mats from the top rank season rewards and into gold, platinum, diamond league rewards, which is obviously good in a way that it takes some of the rewards away from the top guys, but also not really because they get it back another way. But one thing we have begged them for since they started this whole thing with leagues is to increase the war credits and the elite war credits when you lose. So there's not a massive difference between losing in a high bracket and winning in the bracket below you. That was always the killer for why it always made sense for this. Another awesome thing they're changing, Roy, is that in the next season, I don't think this has kicked in yet, but the next season they do after this one, they're going to reduce the TCP bonus that alliances get at the end of the war, meaning that those mega super Kraken alliances aren't going to get, they could lose 4 wars and still place first, right? That sort of stuff's coming to an end, which I think is so very needed right now.
Absolutely. Another thing they should do that they aren't is capping how big of a punch-up it should be. Like our current war, where it's a 22 million TCP difference, that should not happen.
Yeah, and against someone that rumors have that they may have been shelling to. Who knows?
May have.
So look, it is what it is. I mean, people with that kind of roster, where there was one defensive ship there I saw where between the two characters there wasn't a team under 400, and I was like, how does this happen? This is ridiculous. So yeah, Money. Oh yeah, I know how it happens. You know what I'm talking about. But here's the thing, I don't know if this makes sense. So what they're saying is that for the scoring next season, that they're going to increase the amount of points that you get for a win. Now, I feel like that just feeds back into those top 2 alliances and sort of gives them back everything that was removed from the other 2. So I don't think anything really changes at the top. The question is going to be, obviously, what happens with brackets like ours in that sort of top 1%. And everything happens between the 3 and 10, etc.
Right.
Yeah, could we actually place top 10 again if we won 5 of 6? I don't know. And I'm not saying the big key thing here, which I was waiting for. Where's the changes to the matchmaking, folks?
Yeah.
Right?
It's fine.
Yeah, we're going to increase the amount on the scoreboard that you get for a win. Okay, great. So you're gonna fix the matchmaking so we got a better chance of winning, right? Because we're going to get fair fights. Nah, what are you crazy? Why would we do that?
Why would we do that?
So that part doesn't really make sense. So look, we'll have to give it a season or 2 and see how this shakes out. I don't think though that it changes as much as we probably wanted it to. Because what do they change the rewards by? We don't actually know yet, do we? For the increase for a loss?
No, I don't think they've released those numbers.
Yeah. So what? We're in gold 3. So a loss for us at the moment is, we only get 600 currently. We don't know what the increase is yet. But a win's 1,500, a loss is 600. That difference in the elite war credits, given DD3 is a thing, has always made my balls itch. It always has. It's so silly. War credits, it'd be great to have more of those too. And it's nearly double. It's 4,500 versus 2,700. So, yeah. I think bridging the gap to make those closer would definitely be a very good thing.
Yes.
Time will tell. But I don't think at the moment, unless they significantly boost losses in, let's say, gold 3 versus wins in gold 2, or even in silver 4, it's not going to change anything.
Yep.
For the shells, all right, now the Hela stuff, the Hela controversy, if you will. Did you hear about this?
Yes, it did.
Man, this reminds me of global launch month 1 with the cap node. Do you remember how a bunch of people got through it that spent money and then they made that node significantly harder? That's basically what's happened here. 2 years on, lessons not learned. So apparently in some of the PvE content, which is mainly the daily challenges, folks, it seems like they'd coded it, very lazily, that they would just basically have certain characters like Captain Marvel always target the lowest health person on the board. Now, when you have someone like, say, Hela, that just so happens to spawn with a minion, that meant that they always hit Hela with that minion, meaning that they were significantly easier for people to do that had Hela versus those that didn't. Now, what they've gone and done now, obviously now that Hela is farmable, is chosen this time to change the coding. So now it feels like CM always hits pretty much whoever your lowest health person is, which is normally your healer. Feels pretty bad that they've changed it now. It feels like they could have left that in, Roy, and just let people sort of ride that through. Save your coding for something else that matters. What did this actually cost them? Come on.
Yes, everything.
Cost them nothing. It cost them nothing. I mean, let's have a look at the massive differences in these rewards, shall we? If we went to, where is it? I think it was the ability enhancements. Was that the one? It's a difference of
it was the
1 T4 map per day. So what? 1 more ultimate per year? Piss off. Come on. This is where you're spending your time coding, Fox Next? Fix the Black Bolt bug that's been in for like 6 months now. My God.
But that doesn't help people.
It doesn't help people. My God. So crazy, man. So crazy. I hate that that's what they're spending their time on. The way that some of these guys zero in of, well, I need to fix this issue because it's so important. And then like these massive things up front just get left. Because, I mean, I got to admit, some of Jeff's screw up recently, God, they've been good for us. I mean, the amount of good deals we've gotten recently, some of which would had to have been mistakes. Like, you weren't here last week, but did you see that gold calendar in the store?
Was that a mistake?
Mate, if you look at the if you look at the orbs that they've been offering in the offers, like ever since then, let's look and find a good example. Right, so there's one at the moment that's like 50% off right now, okay? And it's like, what, $10 to $15. And you get 200,000 and 3 gold orbs. That's it. Right? That was $4, right? Australian. So it was probably less than that, like maybe $1.50 to $2 American, I'm guessing. And you got 2 million gold guaranteed. And this is 50% off, but they were saying that the one that they had for that was like 80% off. Whoever calculates the percentages of these needs to go back to kindergarten and learn some basics, son, because it's never like 80% in one deal, and you look at 90% in the next deal. I don't know what the original value is.
That's that Fox Next math.
Yeah, mate, it's crazy. But look, it's been working in our favor, and I'll take that. So there was actually another error this morning that unfortunately they corrected very, very quickly. This morning, mate, they were offering, if I've seen this screenshot correctly, it was like quite a few tokens to upgrade a character and 50 Colossus shards for like $2.
Yeah, it was 3 Red Star Colossus and 50 shards of him. That's over
right.
7 days.
See, I look at that and saw tokens
$3.
Because everything for me is a dupe. So yeah, you're right. But that's still insane. I would have bought both of those just to finish my Colossus farm. Yeah, man, just spewing that wasn't there. I saw that, and like, because my kid woke me up at like 4:40, which is about 40 minutes after reset. And my habit now is to immediately open the game just to check the offer store, because normally I miss out on all the Fox Next screw ups, man. I miss out on all of them. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that would have been awesome if they hadn't left that in. Now, we also have the Strike Time interview brought back everyone's favorite ginger, which is Mr. Matt Sheets. So he was back talking about the Ebony Maw design, and it's sounding like he has done a crazy job with that character, man. This character sounds like the definition of power creep for this game 2020. Did you watch that interview?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Now, I mean, my favorite thing here is that there was 2 content creators who were like, well, no, you're going to be able to kill one of the characters first before they're going to take their turn so that you can just stop Thanos in his tracks. And Matt Sheets went, hold my beer. I got this, boo. And he has charged it in.
He's like,
Yeah. I wonder if they thought about this, or whether those content creators are making such a big deal about how that, don't worry, Black Order's going to be so counterable by just killing someone early with, I think it was Loki, CM, and someone else. I reckon Fox Next saw that and just went, no, they're not. Watch this.
You'll have to tell me after air who said that.
Oh, yeah.
I will say, though, leave Arena to the experts.
Oh, look, I'll guarantee you that I think that played into this narrative, because there was quite a few rumors in the last couple of days that the kits for Ebony Maw were still kind of up in the air, even as of last week. I think if I had to take a guess, and this is me just completely speculating, there's no evidence here, I think we should have been seeing Black Widow characters right now. The movie got delayed. Coronavirus has messed with everything. They've had to bring Black Order forward by a long period of time. And they're like, man, we need to finish these kits. Like, what are we going to do here, right? Now, I actually think that state of flux, that conversation that they had, I think they've basically made the Black Order worse now for everyone else that doesn't get them than perhaps would have been the case. So what we know now is that when Ebony Maw is in the field, he is carrying with him 3 Power Stones, if Matt Sheets is to be believed, or 3 Infinity Stones. My apologies. And when he is on deck in Arena, now this is the first time you and I have speculated whether they'd ever do this, and now's the time. In Arena only, Roy, in Arena only, this is how the passive reads now. he will give 100% turn meter to Thanos on spawn, meaning that Thanos, if more is on the field, is now officially the fastest character in this game.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. You need more so bad with that Thanos. My God.
Thick nose approves.
If you end up getting like 7 reds on Cull Obsidian, that team with like the 2 big meat sponges is going to be ridiculous.
Yes. Meat sponge.
Oh my God, it's insane. So yeah, that means he's always going to go first. So everyone's speculation and dreams that you're going to be able to stop this from happening is gone. Now, one thing that he said about PvE, Roy, might excite you, because I know that you were wondering about this, is that in PvE modes, like raids, for example, every turn that Thanos takes, not just his first one, he will check to see how many Black Order people there are on the field, right? Not just the first turn, but every turn. Now, what that means is, in PvE, the Sinister theory should work, that you should be able to clone the 5th member from the opposition. Not that there is any Black Order opposition now, but I think we know that's coming. So you could actually make an empowered Thanos with only 4 Black Order. It's possible.
Well, you can still do it in Arena because Sinister's going to go before Thanos.
No, he's not.
You're Thanos.
What's that?
If you don't have the full Black Order, or if you don't have Maw on your team, but you have Sinister instead of him, your Thanos will go after your Sinister, so you can clone their Maw, and then he will do his thing, give Thanos 100%.
So the way he was talking in that interview made it sound like that couldn't necessarily happen for Arena. It sounds like they're coding it differently for Arena and PvE. And that's why we really need to see this kit with the writing written out in front of us to see which way this is going to go. Because I took that a very different way. It seemed like he was going out of his way to say, in Arena, it's basically this is how it's going to happen. In PvE, however, it's going to be some slightly different coding.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the enemy Thanos will go first, absolutely.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But still, on your team, your Sinister's going before your Thanos, so you can clone their Maw. He'll come out, and then he'll give the turn meter to your Thanos.
Yep.
And then he'll go, and he'll get empowered.
Yeah, but you'd have to be able to clone more, right? But at that point in time, when Thanos gets empowered, he gives a 2-turn taunt to Cull Obsidian. So that means when Sinister takes his turn, the only person he could clone will be Cull. So you would have to have everyone except for Cull Obsidian. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Or remove his taunt.
Or remove the taunt. But yeah, because what's the condition that he has? I'm trying to remember now. He has something where he gets 1,000% resist. I think it's when he gets regen. So why does Thanos give regen again? That'll tell us the story. Thanos is the one that gives out the regen, I'm sure. Let me just check empowered here.
He gives regen when they drop under 50%.
Okay, so in that case, yeah, you might have an opportunity to get rid of that taunt. But if you can't, yeah, ultimately that's what's going to happen. You're going to lose it. And if you're running 4 members of Black Order, is there anyone there that can remove... Oh, yeah, Proxima can. But you'd have to open with her basic, which feels gross. Or Corvus's basic as well. Yeah, it's doable, but what you sacrifice, but is it worth it?
But yeah, anyone trying to say that he'll be able to counter, like, come on, you're just being dumb. You can't speculate about that stuff before you have all the information. That's just trying to, get clicks.
Oh, look.
Or try to look like an expert when you're not. So.
No, I don't mind people speculating that sort of thing. But I think in this particular point, it's kind of like the predictions for Blitz, right? Is that they do play a role in sort of dictating the outcome. And I think in this particular stage, like, Foxnax was like, oh, man, what are we going to do to finish this kit? I mean, maybe it was wrapped up for 6 months. Maybe it was fully completed. But, I did hear some behind-the-scenes chat from someone who is considered a VIP, not a content creator, that gets a little bit of inside info that may have been the case. So, pretty crazy.
Just imagine Matt Sheets read, hold on, we have to give them 100%
I forgot something. Yeah.
Add it in.
Now, this guy, and now this is just basically typing down what Matt Sheets was saying as he went. So he's going to do defense up for all allies, as well as other positive effects, which sounds like offense up to all of the allies is definitely one of them. Then there's going to be negative effects applied to the enemy team. It looks like it's guaranteed that offense down is going to be one of those. He's going to steal health away from the enemy team. He's going to apply slow to everyone on the enemy team. And he's going to reduce the TM of everyone on the enemy team and then feed that turn meter into your team, which is like 100% swing, which is insanely good. And we've got a little bit more clarity now, because a lot of people were saying that the whole Phoenix thing, having a 1-turn special block was actually not going to do much at all. Because she would basically die, resurrect, immediately do her special, the ability block falls off, now it's down to her ult, right? And she's free to do that. So when in his passive, when a controller dies, like Phoenix, he's going to put a barrier up on the entire team. So that damage that she does when she dies, not going to happen. Then he puts immunity up on all allies, meaning that defense up that she does, it's not going to happen. Then he gains charged, and then he basically will ability block all controllers on the start of his next turn as well. So I think his turn meter, I need to figure this out, but I have a feeling that he goes after her special, but before her ult, which means that the ability block goes before her ult.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see the kit, but I mean, that sounds like it's definitely, everyone theorized to be the Phoenix killer, but a few people were like, well, no, with the ability block, it's not enough. It turns out Fox next agrees. A barrier and immunity. I mean, immunity on an entire team, that is a hell of a buff in every situation. And I see this being such a massive thing in raids, mate, because if you can go into Dark Dimension, if you can go into Ultima 7, if you can get your buffs up from Scientist Supreme, or maybe we don't even need Scientist Supreme now, I don't know. And then you basically debuff the crap out of the enemy team, but your team doesn't get any of the negative effects. Bro.
Yeah.
No more defense downs. Like every time you kill a controller, mate, that means you just time when you kill your controllers in raids so that you've got almost like a permanent immunity. So no debuffs are going to hit your team. That by itself is an incredible passive ability. And I think it's going to give him a lot of usability. I'm hoping that extends to non-Black Order, but maybe it's too OP. But if it is for everyone, this guy's going to go straight in my Ultima 7 team. I don't know where yet, but he's going in.
Yeah, and we can know if they want him to counter Phoenix, he will.
Oh, yeah.
They'll change him again if they need to. They've shown that they've done that because they changed Magneto, I think, twice because they wanted him stronger in Arena. So they'll definitely buff them if they missed anything.
Oh, yeah. It's looking good. So, I mean, this kit, we haven't even heard what his basic does yet. I mean, at the moment, his special ult and passive, just with loose descriptions, this guy's going to be insane. Now, if they end up putting on top of this that he has low cooldowns, oh my God, he's going to be monstrous. But there's nothing in there that I'm hearing at the moment that's going to need the high red stars like we talked about before. So maybe it's not the end of the world that we don't have it. The only way, mate, I could see it being an issue is if the way his drain works on his ultimate, like the way he steals health and gives it to your team, if it's based on his maximum health or his damage, that those red stars then might matter a lot because you might go from giving an average heal to a monstrous heal. I can't see it acting that way, but there is a potential here that that'd be the only reason he'd need reds. Otherwise, to me, he kind of seems like a Minerva type character that he's going to be awesome the second you get him. And I think he's going to have probably all 4 T4s required, is how I feel about this guy. I'm going to save definitely about 1,000 for this dude.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, can't wait to see
my T4 Mad Horde will come in very handy.
Because what are you saying? You're on about 3K, right?
I think I've fallen down a little under now. Oh, I'm at 2913, so I've been spending some.
Now, you've already kitted out your Thanos to max, right? Is he T4s and everything now, or not yet?
Yep, every single thing.
He is, and he's still got that much left. All right, that's crazy. Yeah, so I'm down to... I've maxed Proximas, and I've put 2 on Spidey Symbiote. So I'm at about 2.6k left. That's because I was going to put a bunch into the Red Skull, and I was like... No, I'm gonna wait, man. I'm gonna wait. I put 2 essential ones in, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna loop back to. Once we see how much Red Skull gets destroyed, once we see Ironheart, because otherwise there's no point in beefing that team up now.
Right.
Now, the people in the future, which obviously if you're listening to this podcast when it comes out, you're already living in the future. The 7-day login character for the Red Star, 7-day login calendar, will be live in the game to celebrate the Red Star rework, which means you're going to get 1 free 4 elite orb after logging in for 7 days. And you're going to have 3 red orbs to open as well. That's a pretty good free calendar.
Well, it's funny because it's the exact same icon for the fragments. It just says 1.
I saw that.
So hopefully that's
Yeah,
1 orb and not 1
I think
fragment. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, even if it's 1,000, it's not even a whole orb. That's still not great. I think it's just going to be like 3 orbs over a week. I think that's what we're looking at here. So that's fine.
Yep.
Now, that's good, and also a very, very good segue for us to go into our main topic of the week, folks, which is obviously the full details now that we're in that part of the Red Star rework. What are we calling this? 2.0, 3.0? 3.0, I'm guessing.
I think we're up to 3.0.
3.0, yeah. I look forward to 3.1 this time next week when they inevitably screw this up. All right. So let's go through this. So promotion credit prices. So the cost to use promotion credits for all characters are going to be adjusted for 5 red star and above. So the 5 red star cost will be lowered from the current value of 300 silver promotion credits to 150. Any players that previously used silver promotion credits to purchase 5 red star characters will be refunded the difference when the new system goes live. This is a very good change, in my mind.
Yes, long overdue.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know we've had quite a few of our very awesome listeners that have listened to all our episodes from the start, went back and listened. A lot of these changes are pretty close, if not exactly, to what we suggested a long time ago. So it's kind of funny that way. Because I'm pretty sure, didn't we say they should cut that in half? To 150 instead of 300?
Well, I said at least. The reason I'm happy with half now is that we've smoothed the curve for red stars. All right, now they've done that. I think that making 5 so much more powerful than what it was, I think needing some time to farm that's okay. I actually don't think that's too bad now.
Yeah.
So that hand in hand, I think back in the day I might have said it should be way cheaper than that. But now with the smoothing, I think it's okay. Now, the 6 red star cost will change, however, with the 20 times inflation from 5 gold promo tokens up to 100. This is effectively the same cost in the new economy as it is now. On paper, that seems true, but I really need to see it in action to double check this, let's say. We've been made promises like this before that the economy was much better or the same. And then when we did the maths in the live game, it was like, hang on a minute. I smell a rat. Yeah. Now, the 7 red star cost will change the 20 times inflation from the 50 gold promo tokens to 150, which is actually a significant cost reduction from what it would be now. So as we're adjusting the price points of the 6 and 7 red star promotions, all gold promotion credits in players' inventories will be multiplied by a factor of 20. That's what I was trying to say to you before. This means that 5 gold promotion credits will now become 100 in the new system. This needs to be done to ensure that gold promo credits can become more accessible than they are currently.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't seem like too much of a difference between a 6 and a 7 upgrade, right? It's 100 from a 5 to a 6, and it's only 150 from a 6 to a 7?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For you, that means you're sitting on, what have you got now? You got 200 in your bank if you don't spend anything. You can take something to 7, mate. Oof. Have you got any good 6s right now?
Yeah. That is Sinister.
That's a pretty good upgrade, though. But then there's that symbiote Spidey.
Yeah, but he's not farmable, number 1. Number 2, I need symbiote Spidey and Black Bolt to 6.
Yeah, that's a fair play.
And Hella for that matter, I need her to 6 too. So
yeah, man, it'll be bloody tempting to just go, I'm going to take my symbiote Spidey straight to 5. Straight to 6. Oh, no, you'd have to do both, wouldn't you? Ooh, you're not far off, though. I mean, 50 credits. How are we getting gold again? That's predominantly through the new event, right? The gold tokens?
Yeah, only through the new event.
Right.
or if you open like a dupe.
So I was hearing the other day that
6.
what they've done, because they know the first couple of months for a lot of us with a full Wakandan squad, we're pretty bummed that we just can't go straight up to node number 7, right, and just start farming up the top. So apparently what they've done to compensate for that, mate, is that the rewards that you will get for the first time clear for nodes 1, 2, and 3 are absurdly high to kind of make up the difference for like a lost 2 months, if you will.
It's very nice. Also very nice for newer players that don't even have Shuri.
So good. Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of that for newer characters, man. Could you imagine starting the game now, just getting to the end game, getting these free reds that seem to be flying around everywhere? You've got promo credits. Like, they're going to be able to have character progression in ways that we've dreamed about for, since Red Stars began. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, let's go into the part that this is the one that's got most people concerned, like yourself, obviously. So, the character release cadence. So, as the cost of acquiring characters with promotion credits will significantly decrease and Red Star Orb's value will significantly increase, the release cadence of adding new characters to the Elite Store will slightly change. When a character first comes available into the game, they'll be added to all levels of Red Star Orbs, with the exception of certain characters like Ultron. However, the character will not appear for acquisition via promotion credits until the character becomes farmable somewhere in the game. We feel that allowing a direct path to both a 7-star gold new character and the 7 red star potentially on the day of release would be too widely oppressive, but they will monitor that issue.
All right, 2 things. Number 1, I like how they put farmable in quotes, so that probably means premium only. That's farmable. And then also, we will closely monitor this issue. If the whales get too angry, then we will change it.
Look, I mean, they definitely benefited the most out of the changes that have happened so far, man. So I don't think they really need to worry too much. At least part that's good for us is with the power curve, we're not as far behind as what we were a couple weeks ago. Like, we've sort of caught up by about, let's say, 10% in many cases. From 4 to 5, it's a 15% catch up, which is actually not too shabby. I'm really interested in playing Ultima 7 tomorrow. Not going to lie. I really want to see if I can feel this power difference.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, for my Hela and my Black Bolt, it's only 10%. But I mean, a Black Bolt 10%? Ooh, that's big. We'll see. So, yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes out there. Now, the power curve, we have gone through this before. So the old system, what we have now as a pre-recording is basically 2% for a 1-star, 5% power increase for a 2, then 10%, 20, 35, 50, and then 75% for the big one. So if we look at how that's changed, the base level has gone from 2% to 5%. Then tier 2 has gone from 5 to 10%. It's doubled for 3, which is amazing. So from 10 to 20. From 4, you're going from 20 to 35, which is even better. Like a 15% increase. My 4 red Proxima's looking pretty hot now. Not going to lie. 35% from the old system for tier 5 up to 50. Again, that's a massive increase. 50 up to 60 for any of your 6 reds. And then the 75% remains the same for a 7 red star character. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I talked to Thick Nose and Big Daddy Fury and Big Beautiful Blob. They all think this is dumb and shouldn't.
That's
have
right.
been
I keep forgetting you have a 7 red blob
because they don't get any stronger.
Look, I feel zero sympathy for you because you've had way too much luck here and you need to just go away now. So yeah, this is pretty good, man.
Hello, Salty Chew.
Look, back. I mean, I'm not alone though. There's a lot of players with over 700 days in their belt that have 0-7 red stars, and that's well below. If you look at how many orbs that I've opened, it's well below the odds as advertised. So there's definitely, you can call it bad luck if you want. You can call it Australian racism if you want. Whatever you'd like to call it, it's happening either way. Look. This is the best thing they've done in a long time. I mean, we've been begging them to do something like this since this basically started. I think, if they had just left the curve like this from the start, it would have been significantly more palatable. If we didn't do this at all, it would have been better, don't get me wrong. But yeah. Now.
Yes. Yeah, that was the other thing I was talking about. It's pretty close to what we suggested before, like changing the curve of it. Pretty close to the numbers, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I was more aggressive in the lower tiers. I wanted to see like a 3 red star being something like 40%, and the difference between a 4 and a 7 was actually much more gradual. But look, I'm fine with this because 3 and 4 reds are common enough at the level of the game that you and I are at that I know eventually free-to-play players are going to have a pretty decent roster.
Yeah, it's much better. And you even missed the other very good stuff up there in the second paragraph.
I do, and that's what when I said now, before you started talking, that's what I was going to say. So, to ensure this doesn't specifically affect the difficulty of PvE content containing characters using red stars, characters with less than 7 red stars will have their red stars reduced by 1. So, for example, a PvE character at 4 red stars now should have the same combat stats as 3 red star characters after the update. This will affect the displayed values in power of those characters by showing numbers lower than what they are now, but the difficulty of the nodes remain the same. Quick note, the power numbers on leaderboards will not update immediately when this change goes out. This will happen as players update roster information, including increasing their character level, gold stars, red star promotions, gear tier, and abilities. In other words, the way that some people display is not going to look correct, but your character will have upgraded regardless. But that to me, mate, like that seems like Ultima 7 tomorrow should be way more doable than it is today, if I read this correctly.
Should be, but
yeah, because they're not getting more powerful, but we are. Like, I mean, especially if you have a roster full of 4 red stars, you're about to go from 35% power boost to 20% power boost to 35. All of your 5 red stars are going to go from 35 to 50%. I mean, that 15% increase for what is the most common sort of red star volumes out there, that's a big bump. So in your Ultima 7 team, let's look at that as an example. Who's affected here? So for me, Hela's getting 10% boost. I'm getting a 10% boost on Black Bolt. Excited about that. Phoenix is 4 reds for me, so her arena is going to be fun now. But then again, so is everyone else's. Arena's not as big a deal, I guess. Who else do I use? Shuri's at 4, so that's big for her. Her heals will be much bigger now. That's actually quite good. Scientist Supreme's only 3 reds for me, so that's actually quite good as well. Again, for heals. And who am I missing there? Minerva, Shuri, Black Bolt. Oh, Yo-Yo. That's right. The Yo of the Yo Hobo. She is only 3 reds. So the fact that she's going to get a big bump is probably the one that gets the most benefit. How about you?
Mine is probably affected the least because there's Thicknose in there, so he has no change. Ultron has no change. And then Shuri, Minerva, and Scientist Supreme are all 4 red stars, so they'll get the nice little bump. So more survivability.
Yeah, like I actually want to do, if I can, like organize a test with our alliance of let's do another 100% attempt somewhere in the next week or so. Because I've got a theory that with all of us getting at least a 10 to 15% power bump from this, and then people probably upgrading a few of their red star characters as well. Because some people are going to burn that hole through their wallet like instantly. So many people are going to go, oh, now I can do Black Bolt, now I can do Silent Man, I'm going to do it. Rather than waiting to see what Black Order does. I'd love to check this out. I really would.
I think we'll probably still wait until we all have Black Bolt. It'll be so much easier.
Look, I mean, fair play. But it would have been interesting to see, like, do a test to see, okay, how much did Red Star changes make to our ability to clear Ultima 7? And then see, okay, then add Black Bolt on top of that. And just sort of see, okay, what is the thing that affects Raid the most? I would love to come back to our podcast and say, look, folks, this is the most effective thing. Black Bolt is the best thing you can do for Ultima 7 right now. Or is it that Ultima 7 is now doable for free-to-play players because you don't even need that Black Bolt? I'd love for that to be the case. But without being able to do those tests, we just don't have that kind of data for people, which I would love to have. Yeah. So look, I am super excited about all of this. I really, 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 really am. And yeah, I think good times ahead for most of this, just as long as it doesn't break tomorrow and we don't get sort of bad calculations. And I think my main concern is that PvE content's going to be 15% harder until they fix the bug. I reckon there's going to be a bug tomorrow that does that. That's my main concern.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see.
Probably.
See. All right. That's about it. Any other news for this week, mate?
No. See, haha, you did miss it, and you didn't understand what I was talking about. You missed the whole second paragraph.
What do you want?
On the thing, Red Star Orbs. Several improvements we made to the Red Star Orbs to add increased value and generally make all levels more desirable to open. On the side pillars, they're putting elite credits on there. from basic all through the Elite 6. Open duplicate of 1 red star will now grant the same number of elite credits as opening a 2 red star dupe. And then updated contents of basics upon opening 20 orbs, you'll get enough to open an Elite 4. So that's a very nice change. And Elite 7 red star orbs will be price lowered from 5,000 to 2,500. And then opening a duplicate will grant enough credits to open other orbs.
That's needed to happen for a long time.
Eventually.
I kind of wish that, like, because I spent some of those, like, bigger credits to convert them down to get my Black Bolt up faster, which I don't regret doing. But, man, I love that currency back.
Yeah.
I just don't think they'll do it that way. I guess I'll get it back indirectly through the promotion credits, the silver ones. But, yeah, it would have been great to have those. Because how many of these are you sitting on? I mean, for 7s, I've got 0. For 6s, I did have a few, but I'm down to 300 because I spent them to get those Black Bolt currency. What about you?
Oh, God, you've gotten dupes on your
Elite 5. Consistently. You guys wonder why I'm so pissed off with this system. I get screwed on this system, bro.
Thank you, Fox Snakes, for giving us Salty Chew. Elite 4, I have 2767. Elite 5, I have 7,750. And then 0 of the 6, because I have not having a dupe Elite 5 yet. But I haven't opened that many Elite 5s. Maybe only like 3.
Well, that's where you and I are different. I've pulled so many goddamn 5s, but I got no 7s. So that's going to round out a little bit now. But yeah, I can tell you I'd rather have a few key characters at 7 than some of the trash I have at 5. That is for sure. Or trash at 6 for that case. Looking at you, Merc Sniper. You jerk. Both Mercs indeed. Just Merc Sniper's fine. Everyone else can just stay where they are. I don't care. All right.
You just gotta wait for Taskmaster, then they'll make him like Red Skull.
I don't know if they're gonna rework
Pump
it that
up
way
the
though.
minions.
It'd be great if they did, but I just don't know if they will.
Yep.
All right, let's move to some questions, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we do give preference to our Patreons, guys. So because there's a bit of a backlog of questions here because we're recording later in the week, if we don't have time to go through all the free-to-play players' questions, we will make sure they stay for next week so no one misses out. But it's a Big Spartan 34 first, one of our Patreons. As we get more ways to accumulate Red Star-related resources, and with the promo credit resources going down, the Red Star-related rewards in DD3 depreciate in value. With the DD3 rewards already being a disappointment with no badass new characters at the end, do you think Fox Next will try to balance the inflation, why did I say that? By adjusting the rewards. What do you think, mate?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Because a lot of people's dreams were dashed thinking, because I was one of them, thought that we were going to get 10 6 red stars. But
yeah.
Like, no, we're bumping it up, so you only get 1.5.
Oh, yeah, they saw you coming.
Yes.
All right.
Should have kept my mouth shut.
All right, Spartan 34 again. Do you think Fox Next mixed an opportunity with the Proxima event campaign to show off the Black Order? I think allowing the players to see what they can really do as a team will build more hype than hiding Moore's kit behind a wall of secrecy. I could not agree more. I think I said, I don't know if it was with you 2 weeks ago or with Piker last week, I thought they were heading to marquee events where they basically use the first character of a new team to kind of advertise how insanely broken they were. And yet we didn't have all 4 of them there. If that doesn't confirm the fact that Moore's kit and design just wasn't ready, I mean, if you see his animations and design right now, he basically looks like an anemic Squidward. Do you know what I mean? He looks terrible. You know what I mean? He looks like someone you would see in a cancer wing and you just go, oh man, The Rock's going to be here soon giving that kid his last wish. Do you know what I mean? Like, he does not look good.
Yeah, they're furiously trying to finish him.
I think so.
In time.
So I think it's a huge missed opportunity, man. They could have built so much hype and got people to spend that weren't going to spend if you made that character and that kit just look insane for everyone to see. The downside is, of course, is that, you know, some of us that may be a little bit more cynical for some reason might lead us to believe that maybe they're not as overpowered as they'd like us to sell us on, which we have seen once before with Wakandans. So...
Yes.
Look, let's hope it doesn't go that way. Or I personally am going to be asking for all kinds of refunds. Yeah, I've been screenshotting all these claims. Like the fact that they've said they will dominate Arena in a video, I've got that saved, so they can't get rid of it. I've taken screenshots of the blog post, because if they pull it down, mate, I'm going straight to Apple and getting refunds. If it is not the dominant team, I honestly will get refunds, because you can't advertise that crap like that again and get away with it.
Yep.
All right, Hobbs, off topic. I do love these. We don't get them as often as I like, the off topic questions. Feel free to send them in, guys. Like, this is a community podcast, folks. Like, we can have some fun with it. All right, so Hobbs, do you guys have any recommendations for board games during social distancing only involving 2 people? Ooh.
Well, if you want to have it come to fisticuffs, then play Monopoly. Because the 95% luck aspect of it can piss you off.
I think like there's like 3 games that is about guaranteed to end in divorce, right? It's like Pictionary, Charades, and Monopoly, right? Those 3 are generally, not good things to play when you've got a partner on your team. So there's a game I used to love, and it has like 3 to 4 different boards in the game. So you can play 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, or 5-player, and use different boards depending on how many people are playing. It's a game called Small World. I don't know if you ever played it, Roy?
No.
Really cool. You basically build like a faction and that sort of thing early on, and then it's basically you have a certain amount of turns, and at the end of it, it's about who basically has, you know, the most sort of domination within that period of time. And there's a lot of like counters and weird things you can do within the rule set that I think Small World is a ridiculously fun game for 2 people. Pandemic, ironically, is also a very good game for 2 people to play. It's co-op, so you're playing against the disease. It's pretty apt right now, I'm not going to lie. And yeah, it's not a bad game to play with just 2 people. Although, admittedly, I think the 2-player game is significantly more challenging than the high-player game because you can sort of split your resources a bit better and you can have people doing multiple things. So, yeah, I really like Small World, and I think Pandemic is a good game too.
Yep.
All right.
Now, to go slightly off topic from the off topic, you know, there's a huge thing about how Mario Party can like kill friendships and stuff.
All right.
With all like the stuff, but like I've played a few times. I guess it's like I'm normally competitive, but I just didn't really care if I won or not. So I don't see that. I haven't seen that in my experience, but I've heard a lot of people like don't play Mario Party; it will destroy.
I haven't seen that either. I haven't seen that since probably the first generation Wii, not even the Wii U. And that was when they were doing like really weird codings in like Mario Party and Sonic the Olympics. It was like someone at Nintendo sat down and said, "All right, we need to work out what gestures are going to do what in all these sporting events. How can we make this look as masturbatory as possible?" That seemed to be the design philosophy. Like the one that was like rowing. If that didn't look like you were having like a power session on yourself, I don't know what did. We used to get drunk and just watch each other just going, you know, he's got a small one. Look at the way he's doing that. You know what I mean? It's so funny. Anyway.
Nice.
Big Spartan 34. Do you think the fact you have to wait until a new character is farmable to promote their red stars discourages buying new characters since a team could lose a lot of functionality if your luck goes the wrong way on opening red stars? I don't think it changes any way from it does now, to be honest.
Well, I could see maybe his point if you need the whole team and you need high red stars on certain characters and then you don't get them on them. Mm-hmm. So then yours is going to be a lot weaker. I can see it that way. So then it's like, why should I mess with the rest of this team buying a lot of their offers if it's not going to be strong enough? So I can see his point on that.
Oh, look, I agree with his point, but I think we have the exact same situation now. Like we all know, like with Red Skull. I mean, I remember debating on this podcast. I'm like, man, I got 1 red star. What's the point? Right? If I wasn't a content creator trying to get a video out for that, I wouldn't have bought him. No way. Not for 1 red star, because what's the point? 5%? Great. So yeah, I think 100% they should be building in new characters with fixed reds. I really do. And I think that not having that definitely puts off the usability of certain characters. Things like Maw, where their kit's just insane, maybe they're fine. But yeah, be surprised. Yep. All right, Jackie246, he's resubmitting a question that didn't get answered last week because we unfortunately lost our episode, so we had to get people to resubmit questions. So, Symbiote, Spidey, Graviton, and Hela. If all 3 are at 6 reds, who would you take as the 5th person on Yo Hobo? I recall in earlier podcasts you said you'd swap Hela for Graviton at the right power level. I've been seeing Symbiote Spidey hit like a truck in Ultima 7, so wondering if he's a candidate as the 5th. What do you say, mate?
I don't have experience with Yo Hobo, so I'll leave that to you.
Okay, so for Yo Hobo, to be honest, all 3 of those work in that spot. So, I mean, Graviton kind of acts like Hela in the sense that every time someone drops below 50%, let's say from like a Black Bolt ulting into Scientist Supreme's defense downs on the enemy team means that all those characters are going to have their debuffs extended by another turn, which is kind of what you use Hela to do anyway. And then he's bringing a lot more single target damage and stuns. So I think his usability may actually trump Hela's in some nodes. But in saying that, Greg and his turn meter rewind and the fact that he soaks up a lot of damage, that's not to be underestimated either. So I think Graviton and Hela are certainly interchangeable. But I also now think that Symbiote Spidey is too. So I only had one of my alliance mates reach out today, Mr. Run and Gun. And even he was saying that he actually subbed out Scientist Supreme for Symbiote Spidey instead of the other ones.
Oh, wow.
And that he said that he was actually doing better without Scientist Supreme through most of the nodes that weren't boss nodes. So that's something I want to have a look into as well. Because if you can get rid of Scientist Supreme and still race through, that's a massive opportunity, because if it could mean things like if you had Spidey and Graviton, you could basically have 2 stunning characters, and then with Graviton on the team, if they hit hard enough, you then have twin stuns. In other words, you can take a character out for 2 turns. Now, with some of the boss nodes especially, like, being able to shut down a Juggernaut or being able to stop, say, a Kree Noble from debuffing in the first part of that Ronin node, that would be massive. So those 3 characters are the ones that right now I want to do the most theory crafting with, but Graviton's too low and Symbiote Spidey's too low for me. But that definitely is why at the top of the show I was saying to Roy, I may do something weird and actually start finishing off Graviton's farm before I actually go back to DD3 farming. Just because, I have a feeling there is a team that involves that bloke. But let me go a step further though. I wouldn't take any of those up to 6 red stars right now until we see the Black Order, especially Moore. Because if Moore has something in his kit, I have a feeling that we're going to drop someone, possibly Yo-Yo, for Moore instead. Maybe Symbiote, maybe Scientist Supreme is the one to go. Maybe it's even Shuri. I mean, I need to see this kit before I can make a call. I think Shuri stays, but we'll see. Yeah, that's a long way around answer, but I think the combination of all those characters definitely needs testing. Like if I still had access to a Foxnext test account that had all 3 of those, and we were able to start our own raids daily, this would be exactly what I'd be testing right now. So this is how you find out which content creators listen to this show, because keep an eye out for this video on their channel real soon.
Shots fired.
Wouldn't be the first time this month. All right, so Big Spartan 34, with the change to an amount unknown of characters, at least Captain Marvel, now targeting the lowest non-summon character, has your opinion of value of Hela changed across game modes? Absolutely not. I mean, she was almost broken in some of those, but she's still very good. Yep. Anyone that sprays AoE, she's going to make you cost your entire team 10% turn meter, which means things like Venom and really slow characters just don't go off, and that's game-breakingly good. Yep. Spartan 34. Is 5 red stars on Ultimus really worth the status of the current endgame rewards? And would allowing 6 to reds on Ultimus really be game-breaking? In my opinion, getting 7 reds for Ultimus for completing DD3 would better compensate for the lack of new meta tunes. What do you think, mate?
They'll probably end up adding the 7 red stars in DD4 for him on your first completion of that. But yeah, we'll have to see. I think he becomes usable with the 5 red stars, especially with the increase from the red star rework. So it'll be interesting to see how that is. I think more the better rewards are going to be the guaranteed 6 or 7 red stars you'll get from it, from the promotion credits, and the guaranteed 5s you'll get from it also.
Yeah, I can still see the...
and then all the orange gear too.
I mean, I still feel the theme of what he's saying, man, is that like you feel about like when you finish DD2, like your game started again. Like it was basically, here's the new meta. Everything is built around this new character. We just don't have that this time. So... and now for going up to that highest level, we're only talking about a 15% difference between a 6 that's farmable and a 7 that may not be for quite a while. So, yeah, it's one of those things. But I tell you what, though, I do see some use coming up soon for a 5 Ultimus, because the Black Order is going to have a very interesting mechanic when it comes to Ultimus, in that in the very first opening round, it's basically going to go probably Thanos' turn. He's going to give a taunt over to Old Mate, and then Ultimus may actually go almost next on the enemy team. And if you have quite a few buffs being placed by our buddy Moore or other characters onto Cull Obsidian, there's a very good chance you might be able to punch Cull Obsidian to death with an opening ult from a 5 red star Ultimus. Like, it could happen.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So we have to wait and see. It depends on how many buffs Thanos puts up. But I certainly thought about that the other day when I saw the kit changes to Thanos.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We shall see.
All right, Bloodwalker. I developed flu symptoms last week, so I spent a week in my room living off what's in the fridge. I just got the test results. It was only the flu. I'm now back into my exercise routine and looking forward to going food shopping. I was down to 2-minute noodles and canned food. What are you looking forward to once lockdown ends? I'm the opposite, man. Actually exercise. I want to get on that bike like you wouldn't believe. And that's just in time for it to be 50 degrees Celsius here, so wonderful. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I just look forward to all the stuff opening up again and stuff getting back to normal. And like, I can't even watch wrestling anymore because they've been doing it in empty arenas.
Is it bad?
Like, without the crowd, it's just I can't.
Did you watch?
Like, they had to do
WrestleMania?
I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just it's like with no crowd, it's just not the same at all.
Yeah, I can't see the big play-ups of like when the guy's in the middle of the mat and he's crawling and his tag team partners on the ring like trying to get the crowd to clap. I can't even think of what that looks like in an empty arena. I'm hoping that they've just like scripted that out of their fights, because if it's still in there, it's going to look pathetic. But without those big hype moments before they pop, I don't know what wrestling looks like in that particular level.
Yeah, it's just so weird. And still some of them do like the appealing to the crowd.
Oh,
that
really?
isn't there.
Oh, my God.
So
Could you imagine Hogan
it's
right
just,
now just going from like post to post doing the whole, let me hear you.
Yeah, doing his poses and no one's there.
Crazy, man.
It's like, man. So yeah, I just want to, and then all the other sports too. Just all get that back to normal.
True. Have they said much about sport in the US? Like, is your season just cancelled for 2020? That's the way it's looking in Australia.
For now, I think everything's pretty much canceled. Yeah,
It's crazy.
I don't know when they're gonna bring anything.
A year without sport. Isn't it funny? Like, all the gambling addicts are now having to come to play Marvel Strike Force to get their fix. It's like the only place you can gamble. What are you going to bet on? Whether Carol Baskins did it?
Can't even go to the casino. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Spartan again. So as you can see, guys, with guys like Spartan, your Patreon money goes a long way. You get a lot of benefits by being able to ask pretty much as many questions as you want. All right. So Spartan asks, Foxnext already acknowledged that Wakandans didn't live up to the hype. Their solution seems to be making them a requirement for the Red Star Flash event. Do you think this is just a method to give players a false sense of comfort in their investment to the Wakandans? Because making a team good and making them required for something is not the same thing. I think they basically admitted that. I mean, Cerebro said that flat out in an interview that, we want to make players feel better about the fact that they invested in a team that we basically lied about. Like, that conversation happened. It also happened to be a conversation that happened well after 90 days. That way people couldn't go back and use that as evidence to get a refund through Apple, right? They're not idiots.
Yep.
All right, because, that's legit false advertising. All right, so H Headshot, interested to know if when you were part of the Envoy program, did they ever give an official explanation as why they had to pull our pants down by nerfing new character event orbs to include various shards outside of the desired new character? And also those awesome milestones where we got a bunch of resources simply for leveling up new characters. Money. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it when the very first change happened. That was quite early in the days of Envoy, I think, too. And we just talked about how the value was getting worse. I think that might have already changed before Envoy was a thing, but it certainly got worse after that. And that was definitely a pain point of mine that I brought up very frequently, saying, like, it doesn't feel good that, every new event is worse than the last, because new players may not care, but veteran players are going to feel like they're getting less value for their money each time. It feels bad, but if it comes down to it, it's all about profiteering. Like, everything they've done in this game over the last 12 months, they've increased the level of RNG that you need on everything in the game. Everything is touched by RNG. Even the ability to upgrade a character that you have the currency for red stars. You need RNG just for them to show up in the store. So, the only thing they've done that is actually trying to bring targeted farming happens tomorrow, or today by the time you're listening to this, which is red stars in the rework. That's the only thing they've done in the opposite direction in the last probably 18 months. Yeah.
Yep.
See, Marco, is it worth saving silver promo credits for a 5 Black Bolt, or should I use them to build up the other Inhumans for the team? I've got around 100 silver promo tokens at the moment, 3 reds on Yo-Yo, Karnak, and 1 on Crystal. We'll be getting a 6 yellow, 4 red Black Bolt in a few weeks, so I could save up the 150 or build a more balanced, strong team. Just do the Black Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets exponentially better.
Yeah. Like, Inhumans are very good in where they're good, but, I mean, Black Bolt is better in every single game mode, no matter where you put him. He's viable in Arena right now, yeah. Alliance War, Blitz, Ultima 7, all the raids where there's bio characters, like, just everywhere he's insanely good. DD3 as well for Cosmic. So, yeah, just do the Black Bolt, dude. But my advice, again, see how you're situated leading into more. We just don't know what that kit looks like. There's no real reason to rush right now.
Yep.
All right, and then last of the Patreon questions from Grim Nos, one of our very own in Alternate Reality. If you were an actor, who would you rather play in the movie, Joe Exotic or Carol Baskin? What do you think, Ray?
Apparently this is all the rage. I have not watched it yet, so I can't really answer that. I've actually been watching this show called Future Man.
Okay.
Because it's got my favorite thing. It's got time travel in there. It's actually written and I think produced by Seth Rogen, so it's it's toilet humor a lot of the time, but it's pretty funny. It's actually has the I don't know if you remember from Community. Remember when they had like the government agents come in?
The 2 guys
check out Abed. Yep. The blonde chick that he kind of had a thing with.
She was also in a few different TV shows.
Yeah, she's a main character in that. So it's like I remember her. She seems so familiar that I looked at like, oh, okay. Like I remember her now. So.
Yeah, no, I do like her. She's been in quite a bit of stuff. Yeah. All right, I'll check that out as well. But yeah, Tiger King is just this insane thing, and now you've got Trump being asked questions about it. Like when it's getting to that level, something's become a full level meme. So. I would say Joe Exotic as an actor would be way more fun to play. Like, I mean, as Carol Baskins, you just have to be as creepy as humanly possible. Just go, there's no way I killed him, but if I did kill him, this is how I would have done it. Like, that is as creepy as anything. But Joe Exotic, I mean, the only downside is obviously as a straight actor, I'd have to, have quite a few gay scenes, which for me would be out of my comfort zone. But, look, I mean, I'd do it for the role. But... yeah, I think there's a lot more fun in being Joe Exotic because you just get to do some insane things.
Did that Carol Baskin talk to O.J. Simpson? Because he had the same thing when he wrote his books. Like, I didn't do it, but if I did, this was how I do it.
So, funnily enough,
that's exactly what
I haven't seen the tweet yet, but apparently O.J. Simpson came out and tweeted, yeah, that bitch definitely did this. Or something to that effect. So, yeah. I mean, you look at this. I mean, even the local police department have, watched that documentary and gone, yeah, we need to reopen that cold case. Like, there's something... This chick may have been involved. Do you know what I mean? And then she's all shocked that, everyone's focusing on that angle. It's just like... But, all the stuff with Joe Exotic, it's like, yeah, but you may have killed your husband. And, all of this this insanity with Joe Exotic may have never kicked off if that whole thing with your husband conveniently disappearing never happened. So I'd love for them to find that guy that basically hated his wife so much that they just find him in, Cuba or something, just rolling like a baller, faked his own death thinking, that bitch is going to go to jail. That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so now the questions from our free-to-play community, folks. We'll go through these as quickly as we can because there's quite a few. There's about 2 weeks' worth. So, Neil, what are your thoughts on how Ultimus Orb Shards should be handled after people begin maxing out Ultimus at 7 stars? I mean, it is what it is, right? I'd love to see some sort of almost secondary currency again, but that's probably too much now. I mean, I've gotten some good value out of it recently by being able to get Ghost Rider in a few. What about you, though?
Yeah, I've been opening. I did get Sif once, so that made it all worth it. Just that extra 15. That's what 1375 times 3. That much war currency. So definitely worth it for me. And then Inhumans, they'll be in there, and you'll want them for the Black Order, the Ebony Maw. So it'll be worth it for that if you can get them from there.
Yeah. I mean, I'd definitely love to see, Ultima start to get converted in something else. Because Ultima's being the supposed hardest to farm character in the game, so to speak. The ultimate big bad, if you will. it'd be almost great that like once you got Ultima Shards past that point, that there was like just an orb. The only way you could get it was from like doubling up on Ultimus himself, like getting extra shards of him beyond 7 yellows. And then that went into an orb where it only had unfarmable characters in it. That would be my dream right there. Because it's a very slow farm, a very, very slow farm. And I think it's very worth it for people who are already in this Supreme endgame. But it's too free-to-play friendly, so it's not going to happen.
Yep, pretty much.
All right, hashtag Clay86. What's your biggest in-game mistake? Wakandans, next question. He said he said this morning while getting a sneaky bit of MSF and working from home, I got trigger happy. Oh, okay, I've got stories here too. Upgrading Scientist Supreme to T12 and applied 180 orange mats to her basic. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, what do you think? What's your biggest? I've made that mistake twice. I can't remember the other one, but the other one was definitely Human Torch's basic, which in retrospect is not the worst one to have upgraded.
Yeah, thankfully I don't have any mistakes with T4s. Only big mistakes would just be spending most or all of my orange gear from my first Dark Dimension completion
that as well.
On characters I used. And then just like messing up timing in Arena when I could have got first, but I messed up, and then I get slingshotted down to like 13.
True.
But other than that, nothing huge.
All right, Fick Nuri, what would you prefer? The way that stores refresh currently, or instead when you refresh them, it refreshes the store but gives you exactly what is on there right now? So in other words, do you want the ability to refresh and then maybe you get lucky and you get Sif 3 times a day, or maybe you get it 0 times per day, or maybe you get lucky and she's there at the start of the day, Roy, and then you can guarantee 3 refreshes with her exactly? It's a good question.
Yeah, they never make it where it refreshes the same stuff. They don't want people getting what they want like that. You'd also be at the mercy of if it ever showing up. Like I'd hardly ever got nanites or the other purple mystic thing that I needed to show up. So I'd be waiting a long time.
This takes me back to the pistols from DD2.
Yes, I like the ability to shake it up.
Yeah, I think I probably prefer it as it is too, to be honest. But I can kind of see your point, though. When it does show up, you can guarantee you can capitalize it. Whereas if you have like 3 days where it doesn't show up at all, that feels rough. So, I mean, it doesn't change that much.
Maybe they make it where you could like refresh a node, but it would cost more, but it would get the same thing, but it would cost more cores.
I don't think it changes the value that much. Captain Albino, with the upcoming Red Star rework and reduced number of credits from 4 to 5 reds, I have an opportunity to get someone from 4 to 6 using the free upgrade. Who should I use it on? Phoenix, Hela, or Sinister? I would say Hela or Sinister. Probably Hela. What about you, Roy? I think I know your answer.
Yeah, that is pretty tough. Either Hela or Sinister. It's just, it comes down to if they're ever going to make Sinister farmable. Because as of now, he's not still, after all this time. Once they make Sinister, yeah, I'd say once they make him farmable, go with him. But for now, maybe Hela, if you want to get through DD3 a little quicker.
Sure. Limdals, I hope you guys are keeping safe. Currently on Node 3 of DD3, unlucky. With Phoenix, Fury, IW, Ultron, and Trooper. To improve the team, is it better to add a 5 gold, 4 red Colossus or a 7 red Psylocke? I swear I answered this on air. Oh, it probably was the one that we lost. Or a 7 red Psylocke. Just wondering if having Psylocke's passive to protect Phoenix every run is the better option. Colossus is definitely the better option.
Well, on Node 3 at least, it might be Psylocke because Colossus is getting one-shotted. Whereas if you have the evade, they might live, and then Black Panther won't go off.
Yeah, but I mean, Psylocke's the character that you're going to
tough.
drop in just about every other part of the game. So, I mean, for me, there's better value across the entire game in Colossus. And for the rest of the global nodes, I'd say it's Colossus hands down. Because you're going to almost guarantee that Phoenix is going to get off her turn. Which is exactly what you want. So yeah, for me, I feel like getting that auto taunt out of Colossus after Phoenix drops early is just almost necessary.
I guess he's going to be so squished, though. That's my only problem with that. If a 7 red star Colossus is getting squished, then a much smaller one will be, and he's not going to bring anything else to it.
Yeah, I don't think Psylocke. I think Psylocke is
can
just
do other
even
stuff.
squishier, though. Like, I can see Colossus surviving some hits from some of the dudes once they've gone through their opening rotations. Node 3 is a bad example because there's too much death there. But the fact that you're getting that D up as well obviously helps that team a lot. on the spawn. So yeah, and you don't have to. Yeah, that's the problem with like Fury and Shuri is that like some days you spawn in and their cooldowns are off, so it's like god damn it, everyone's gonna die. They're too squishy today. But the days where you spawn in with D up, it's a big difference. Like a lot more survive. So I just feel like Colossus seems to be a pretty good theme. That like Colossus and Phoenix are kind of almost essential tunes in my opinion. I know Roy's different for DD3 for all the first section and global as well.
Yep.
All right, Galvatron, what non-Dark Dimension character in the game do you think is the most power creep proof? My vote is Mr. Sinister because as your opposition gets stronger, so do his clones. That's a good question.
Yep, that is why he's my favorite.
Yeah, I can't see Black Bolt.
He can copy anything.
I can't see Black Bolt really decreasing in value either. I mean, the more characters that we get that have the ability to come back from the dead, he's just going to get better. Because I can't see Red Skull being the last one of those.
Yeah.
Yep. Fritz the Train. I sent this to customer support. How will the upcoming Red Star rework affect the ability to promote old characters that are not farmable? Just reading through this question, I think they've answered this in the blog post. I think we've actually already covered it. They're basically, the characters that are already in the store but not farmable will stay in the store. Seems to be the answer so far.
Yeah. I certainly hope that.
Oh, look, if they go backwards on that, I think you can make the case if that's actually rolling the game back, and that's not what they advertised. And there's been communications copied and pasted from Cerebro, I don't think it was Zeke's, in Reddit, where they basically confirmed that point. So, Chuzumaku, hey guys, looking forward to the first global node. Right now I have Phoenix, Sinister, Scientist Supreme. I could go Wolverine with 7 yellow, 4 red, and Sabretooth right now, or Cyclops 6-3 and Trooper 7-4. Not really feeling any of these. Should I go for Colossus? He'd be missing a full piece, basically. Or should I just build the Trooper at this point? What do you think, Ray?
It's going to depend on your red stars on Phoenix and Sinister. Because I'll tell you, the two big things you're going to run into is Node 7, which I just did the video on most recently. You need to burn down that first Iron Fist, or a second one will come down and they will constantly be healing. And they're healing on spawn, so you can't just Phoenix it down. There's so many people who've gotten into that horrible situation. I tried to warn as many people as possible, but it still happened for a lot of them. So it's going to come down, do you have enough burst to take them down? So you want to build around that. And then in Node 8, you're going to have a wave come down where it's Fury and Shield. So if you can't burn down that Fury, you're going to have the whole enemy team pretty much take their turn before you. So you'll have to be able to deal with that. So those are the two big things you need to build your teams to deal with.
Absolutely. All right, Richard Cranium, here he is. Two-parter here. Do you think Minerva will ever be made farmable? Not Foxnax farmable. I know BW was made farmable recently, but she isn't a cornerstone character for a piece of content the same way that Minerva is. I'm currently at 30 of 45. She's the last piece of my DD2 team that I'm waiting to unlock. That being said, my team is currently Star-Lord, Groot, Jugs, and Mags. Who would you build up as an alternative fifth? My first thought was Hela because, well, Hela. The only downside is there's no heals in that team. And Groot is going to eat it badly because he's going to taunt when... no, there's no rocket, is there? It's Star-Lord, Groot, Jugs, Mags. No. There's no real dips either, really. I mean, yeah, Hela solves some of those problems, but you'd need big reds on her. I don't think she's a great choice for the fifth there, if I'm telling the truth. Jeez, who would you even recommend there?
Rough. You really need the Minerva for that team.
Or someone that just goes boom quickly. I mean, there's no harm in taking Phoenix up there and just rolling it that way, I suppose. But you're going to get to some nodes where that's going to make you pay the price real bad. So, yeah, you're missing a big DPS there for sure, and you're missing a heal. So I think you're going to have to make a choice if you can't get Minerva, brother, of one of those two.
Haven't people... taken like aim through there?
That's a good point, but he'd have to build 5 aim characters from scratch, dude. Like that kind of sucks if he's got to go through that route. I mean, Scientist Supreme does solve some of his problems there, but he'd have to survive the opening round, and then he doesn't really have a heal to bring them back up after they got pumped with defense downs. So yeah, I mean, it could work. I mean, if he gets through that first round, he could probably do a fair bit of damage, and then you can have Groot cleanse off as well. So yeah, but no. I'd almost say that Phoenix is a better immediate boom and just sort of slowly chip away at it type strategy, but there's nothing there that's going to be super awesome, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, they'll eventually make her farmable in some way, but it's not going to be for a long time.
Yeah,
look how long it took for Black Widow.
For sure, man. Look, you're going to get through it anyway. So I'd probably look ahead and just sort of say, look, what are the meta characters that are going to roll with me in later game once you get through and you've got your Ultron. So I mean, obviously Minerva's a great character there. Black Bolt's an awesome character, but if you're in that part of the game, I think he's probably a little way for you. Who else we got there? Hela. I mean, she's farmable now. I mean, a great choice. There's nothing for her to really capitalize on. Oh, she capitalize on the blinds, though, I suppose, Roy. She could get Star-Lord could blind, and then she'd spread the blind to the entire team. That's not terrible. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, Com Shepard. If you could choose one non-meta team to have 6 red stars on all 5 members, which team would it be and why? That's a good question.
Non-meta team.
AIM would be definitely up there because they're at high reds. They've got some irritating things about them.
Red Skull and Hydra.
They're
just laugh at all the defense victories.
Meta. Come on, they're meta.
Hey, some brave soul took them into DD3.
True. I think AIM's definitely a good choice. Do you know what? If you let me have all the Kree, and I mean all of them, I'd say Kree probably wins that. Because then, like, the flexibility you have to mix and match within that squad, I think they're kind of, in a lot of ways, a Swiss Army knife of a team. Like, you can kind of go, all right, you're going to eat a lot of damage. All you need to do is survive. You roll the healer heavy option. If you need to be able to do a lot of burst, they've got options. The only thing they really lack is AoE, so they can time out easily. So, yeah, maybe AIM is the better option. 6 red on Ultimus. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. AIM doesn't really have AoE either, does it? I get a little bit on Graviton, that's about it. Trying to think of what other like non-meta teams are out there now. There's a lot of teams that used to be. I mean, it's certainly not Defenders. Guardians, I wouldn't hate.
Sinister 6 is pretty nasty.
Yeah, I think Guardians is better than Sinister 6, though. But, I mean, they're pretty meta. Tough question. I was going to say AIM. I was going to say AIM for now. Yeah, we'll go 6 red Graviton. Oh, I'd take that. All right, Cape Man. Hey, guys, love the show. Got a priority question. Saving T-Force for Blackbot right now. There seems to be some themes in the questions recently. Should I spend this? Should I spend that on this character? With Black Order coming, should I save? Yeah, my advice, man, is like I've been saying all show, Caveman, just save it until we see what more looks like and then go from there. Lance is saying, should he have been hoarding orbs for the upcoming Symbiote Spider-Man event? I feel like it's probably a bit late for that question, my man. You're free to play, want to do well in the event. So no, not orbs, but it's just all about gold and cores, man. So you can do well if you want to. Yeah. Shalasta, we added him into the patron section after he put in his question, unfortunately. But lots of DD3 questions. Got another one for us. Currently have Captain Marvel, Hela, and Black Bolt at T14. What other 2 should I consider bringing in? What would you take, Roy?
Absolutely. Phoenix, number 1. You're not getting anywhere without her. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Well, Symbiote Spider-Man, he'll be very good at the beginning. And then eventually, like I think you said earlier, he can like almost solo the first 3 city nodes. So probably can't go wrong with him. That'd be a very strong first 5.
If it's the early days, I'd probably even go, because what do you got there? I mean, you got Black Bolt, you got Hela. So, I mean, there's your damage taken care of. Captain Marvel rounding that out. So, I mean, yeah, for me, I'd probably go Colossus Phoenix for the start, because that's going to carry you through for quite a ways there. And you've got, 2 of the essentials for that. And then, yeah, you can take your time getting Symbiote. But if you had to pick one that's just going to be meta everywhere, Roy's right. Symbiote Spidey's just insane.
Or you can go for the quick D up for the global, so Shuri or Fury, depending on your mini weeks, because you might not have enough to do the 2 mutants.
True. I'd definitely say that Shuri is probably the better of those 2, but same sort of story is that she doesn't have the ability to get that D up every time, whereas the Colossus does every time. So either way is going to work for you, and we're only talking like percentage points of difference effectiveness. But for me, yeah, I'd probably go the Colossus. Campbell, hi folks. Question about symbiotes. Always liked them. Went pretty hard on Symbiote Spidey. Took him to T14 as well. Have a reasonably decent Carnage and Venom. Really like the team. Who would you put with them for Ultima 7? The Spideys are too squishy. Sure are. Tried SS and Hela, and it's a bit short on healing. Heal block wrecks them badly. So Shuri's kind of the answer there, because she gets the D up for you at the start, and she has those clutch heals for later on as well. And then you could do Shuri and SS. My main concern there is AoE. You don't really have those big AoE beats that are going to save you in the long run. And you kind of need someone to do the cleansing for you or you bug it. And that's where Scientist Supreme kind of comes in, because she synergizes really well with Hela, because she's going to cleanse off all the bad things you've got on you and convert them to awesome. And then obviously you've got Shuri going to pick up the back end and then heal what was lost. However, with what we keep hearing about Moore, I have a feeling that Moore might be the answer on the far right, and then have your Shuri on the far left. And I think that might be everything you need there. However, if we do see that Moore is going to put defense up to everyone, that might mean that you don't need Shuri if he moves fast enough or applies that on Spawn, which means that you might actually be able to do Minerva instead, which then it doesn't matter if they're squishy, you can just try and get reses. Yeah. So, yeah, at this stage, man, I'd say probably, if you had to pick now, Scientist Supreme and Shuri definitely round out that team to an extent, but I think that team's going to time out because they don't have those big AoE boosts that you need to be able to kill people within the 5-minute timer. All right, 2 to go. Matches Malone. I need a 5th Inhuman to line up for more. Should I focus on Crystal or Karnak? Both are 3 yellow, 2 red. Oof, my man. Where would they be farmable from? Jeez, I wish I had a magic ball to tell you, my man, because I want to know this just as much as you do, bro. Yeah, man, I really want to know who's going to be farmable. I want to know that I could farm Yo-Yo, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So it seems like Crystal and Karnak are going to be the ones we need to farm. And we are now, Roy, 6 weeks away from the event? And we still don't know.
Yeah. So only 4 weeks to go before they're farmable.
Well, last time it was 3 weeks is what they gave us, right? Yeah, I mean, for me to get 6, I'd need like 200 on Crystal and like 300 and something on Karnak. So there's no way I'm getting 6 reds at this stage.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to assume Karnak will be the most available one.
Because he is terrible. All right. Pathfinder, final question for the week. With Thanos rework and Black Order coming, is it worth using promo credits on Black Bolt? We're going to skip the rest of the question. Just wait, my man. Of course, it's still worth it. Black Bolt's a wonderful character, guys. But just save your currency until we see more. Look at if you're going to be able to get him. And if you can't, Black Bolt's a great option to 6 red star. But just that currency is going nowhere, folks. I mean, getting a Black Bolt is not going to race you through DD3 today. It's not going to beat Ultima 7 for you today. Waiting a week or two, it's going to be worth it, I'm hoping. So just hold on to those materials for now. All right. I think we're going to have to read through these questions for dupes again next week because we're starting to get echoes of like 5 or 6 echoes there. But look, thanks to everyone who submitted those questions, guys. We hope that you get value out of that every single week. If you do want preferred treatment there and you want to guarantee your questions are read, make sure you sign up over on Patreon. You can also join the Q&A that we're about to go into as soon as we stop recording right now with our Journeyman and our Master tiers. So you get more access to Roy and I to ask those questions more in depth that perhaps we don't have time to do during the podcast. And you can do all that over on patreon.com/SFMOL. If you did enjoy the show and you want to help us out and you haven't done this before, leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts. If you really liked us and you leave us a 5-star and you leave comments there, like Roy did at the top of the show, he'll read those out next week. Roy, that's going to do it for me. Take us on out of here.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the little post that they made up now. It's 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So as Saturday night at midnight, that's when it starts, Eastern Standard Time. I am on Twitch. I'm only streaming on Mondays right now, starting at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Also on YouTube, Big Roy Awesome. I'm up to Node 7 in my videos. Going to get caught up on that. I'm doing 2-3 days in each video now, so I should be getting caught up on that soon. So check those out if you haven't already. And that's going to do it. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay tuned and stay awesome.